Hi everyone, welcome to Midwest Midas Mining. I'm Matt. Today I'm going to be mining for gold on a creek in central Iowa. And a little more specifically, I'm going to be using an Angus MacKirk Drop-riffle Sluice. Let me turn the camera around here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the sluice here. Drop-riffle just means that the water enters here on this plane and every gold catching point is below where the water enters that plane. That's a little different than sluices that use mats. The water has to go up and over the mat. The water goes straight through, and with the Drop-riffle sluice, the heavies fall out into the lower places in the sluice. One of the things I really like this sluice for is unclassified material. I think I will be classifying today though. I mean, I brought my classifier, why not use it? So yeah, let's find a good place to put this in the water and let's get started. So I think I found a good spot to put my sluice. One thing that I found with the Angus MacKirk sluice, at least this one for me, is that you can run it fairly flat. Now, for those that don't know, when you're running a sluice, the pitch and the amount of water flow are the two most important things. If you have less water flow, generally you need more pitch. If you have more water flow, you need less pitch. What I've found is that this tends to like a shallower angle with more water flow. So I try to run it as flat as I can. But one thing you can do when you first get your sluice in the water to see how it's running is you don't necessarily need to have pay dirt. Just come over here and grab a scoop of some material and just throw it on there and see how it goes. Now you can see the bigger rocks in there. I'm gonna classify when I do run materials, so I won't have those big rocks. This is washing out somewhat slowly, but that's okay. I may try to increase the angle just slightly. Oh, there would. So yeah, let's go dig up some pay dirt and let's run this thing. One question I frequently get asked is, when I'm in the creek, how do I know where to dig? Well, the first answer is try digging anywhere, because sometimes gold is in goofy places. But maybe a better answer is try digging on an inside bend. And let me show you where I'm at here. You can see in the distance, that's an inside bend there with just a slight little carve out. And the inside bend really, the longer inside bend really continues around this way and down. So where I kind of want to target is, it's going to be right in here, and that's the beginning of the inside bend. In times of high water flow, when things are really gushing through here, the gold is going to, because it's one of the most dense materials, is going to take the shortest path, which we know is a straight line. It's generally going to work from one inside bend to another, so it's just going to kind of work its way down here. And when it hits this, as you can see, the big rocks piling up, the heavier stuff falls out of suspension in the water, and gold is one of the heaviest things, so it's going to tend to fall out wherever you see the big rocks fall out. So I'm going to put a shovel in here somewhere and take a test pan, and otherwise this kind of looks like a good spot, and I kind of know already because I've been here before. But yeah, let's get a test pan and check it out. All right, so I did a couple test pans in this area. Right here, I think was too much on the surface, didn't find anything. When I dug down much deeper here amidst the bigger cobble, yeah, I found some gold, and this is where I'm gonna dig today. As I said before, I've had good luck already in this general area, so that's what I'm gonna do. So we're going to get ready to classify our material. There's a couple different ways you could classify. You could dry classify, I could just put everything that I dig up through my classifier, sift it out, and keep going. That's one way. The downside of that is when you're in the hunt for fine gold, as we are here generally in Iowa, the fine gold will oftentimes stick to the bigger rocks. So if you're just throwing out the bigger rocks without washing them first, you're probably losing some gold. I prefer to wet classify, and that's what we're gonna do here. Get my bucket. Get as much water in there as I can this way. All right, that only gets you so far. So what we're gonna do is take the pan, continue filling it up like such. Now we're gonna throw a classifier in here. We want the water level to be up just touching the classifier so that when I put material in, it will wash it off. All right, as you can see, we got water up over the classifier. Perfect. Let's get started. Oh yeah. Big old scoop. Throw it on there and shake it out. Want everything to be nice and washed off. Rinse and repeat, as they say. All right, we're finally ready to sluice. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got one bucket of classified material, probably about 2/3 of the way full. Got the sluice, ready to roll. And the prospector's best friend, the chair. Let's get started. Some of you may be wondering, just how does a sluice work? Well, let me show you. We're going to take a scoop of material here, put it in the very front end of the sluice. Now, the water is washing that over the riffles. And as that material comes into contact with each low pressure zone, with each part of the sluice that is at a low point, the more dense material is going to displace the less dense material. And gold is going to be the densest material in these creeks. So ideally, any gold is going to settle in here and it's going to drop down to the bottom and displace something less dense. And that's going to happen on each riffle all the way down. So when you get done with your bucket, in theory, you should have the most dense material up here at the top and the least dense material down here at the bottom, and hopefully lots of gold. Okay, just finished sluicing that first bucket. Empty. Now, taking a look down in the sluice here, I hope you can see, but all the riffles look very, very dark. That's a good sign. That means all the heavies have been dropping out. Even some of these down here look a little reddish black. That's because there's a lot of garnet in this sand. So what we're going to do now is dump the sluice out into a pan and then we're gonna pan it out. Well, the results for that bucket were mixed. Let me show you. So there was one really nice piece in there, but I expected to see more pieces overall. So I'm gonna go do another test pan in a slightly different area and see if I get better results. Here is the hole that I dug for the first bucket. So I wasn't too impressed with the results I got. So I moved down over here and did a test pan here. And while I was digging, I did hit clay, and that's a good sign because it was really thick clay. And so the gold is not going to be able to penetrate that clay. So anything that comes along through here settles down to that clay. That's where it's going to stop. That's where it's going to stay, and that's where I will find it. I had 3 colors in my pan for the test pan here, and over here I had 7. So we're going to dig over here. Let's go bucket number 2. If you're finding this video at all educational or entertaining, please smash that like button. It really helps my channel. Thank you. And here are the results from bucket number 2. It was right on par with what I got from bucket number 1. I guess this area over here just doesn't want to give it up today. I've gotten more in this area before. Oh well, that's gold mining in Iowa. Well, I've done 3 buckets now. Let me show you the cleanup on the 3rd bucket. That's the best one so far, and that's mostly because the pieces of gold I got were chunkier. I'm not getting a lot of pieces of gold, but the ones I'm getting are chunkier, which is not too bad. Anyway, that's gonna wrap things up for today. Thank you for joining me on this adventure, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.